All right,
And you
gotta ask
also
the
can't
question.
discount you can't discount the shoe factor too, obviously. Go ahead.
I mean, Ryan Hall's record has still stood here for 15 years.
Yeah,
Rupp came within 4 seconds of it in 2018. The marathon record, 2:05:38, set
yep.
in 2002. That's even longer. It's 20 years. Rupp came within about 40 seconds of it in 2018. When are when are the men going to start having the same type of, you
Yeah.
know, dominant era of one after another, flirting with an American record, breaking American record, another new top 10.
Yeah.
Um, when is it gonna be the boys' time to shine here? Are we gonna see it in this time? Like, or do we still have to wait another 5 or another cycle, another 10 years before we have a new fresh crop of dudes who can come in and start running? I'm running gonna run 205 this year, or I'm gonna break
Yeah.
60 this year.
Yeah. That's a harder question to answer if you want me to give you an exact date. I can't because it's not you're right, there's not that depth. There's not that pool of people where you're like, "All right, one of these 10 are gonna pan out." But the women, you have that advantage, and more seem to pop up every time you have a major marathon. There's another person who puts their name out there, and you have to consider. So I don't know, but you look at the men, it's just a different type of like Sarah Hall, Kira D'Amato. They're really relevant on the track too. Like they could go to the 10,000-meter trials and be in the mix for teams. Obviously, Emily Sisson won the 10,000 at the Olympic trials, the best half marathoner, or sorry, one of the best half marathoners, one of the best marathoners in the United States. The men, there's just no, the crossover isn't the same. And you could point to a bunch of different reasons why that's true. But we're going to have to wait, I think, a little longer for the men. Now, like, who do you think's the best candidate to break it for the half for the men? Is it still Rupp?
I mean, we can like be bold and be like, is it Connor Mance, right?
Yeah, and it might be. Or is it Chalimo or something? Is it somebody who hasn't really explored the roads at all, but we know has good top end speed? Or is it a guy at the tail end of his career who's more focused on the longer stuff? With the
Yeah,
women, it's just easier
like
to see the path forward.
yeah. I don't know, but we did have a good male performance in Kirabella Rasa. He ran
Mhm.
60:44. We're number 6 all time on the US list. I talked to him post race. He wanted to break the American record. That was his
Maybe it's him
goal.
then.
He said
Maybe it's him.
he said he got COVID 2 weeks ago, and that kind of threw him off. But like in his mind, he's thought I'm going to break the American record at Houston, and it
Mhm.
was his debut. He was like all in on. He has
Yeah.
utmost confidence. This Kilbert Rasa guy. For those who don't know, Kirabel, he ran at Oklahoma State. Was a good NCAA athlete. He's been kind of bouncing around different groups here and there, kind of struggling to get uh, sponsorships. He had like a Nike deal at one point, then he had a Hoka deal. But the thing with men's distance running, it's really hard to hold on to a deal if you're not making top 3 at the
Mhm.
world team level. And he just was really good at being good at the wrong moments, right? He
Mhm.
was top of the top tier runner, but then when it came to the race day of the trials or race day of the US champs, he gets 4th or 5th or
Yeah.
DNFs. And he now trains in Ethiopia, and he's confident. He thinks he's going to make the 5K team. He thinks he can make the 10K team. Um, and he thinks that this 60:44 is kind of proof that he's fit and he's able to, he'll be able to toe the line with the Bowerman guys and everyone and their mom who's going to be trying to make a world team in Eugene this year. Especially the
Yeah.
fact that 10K and 5K are a month apart, so there will be no like tired legs for the 5 or tired legs for the 10.
And maybe it is someone like that who ends up breaking it, as opposed to someone who's more
Unknown. Yeah.
apparent. Yeah, following a logical transition. So Tolosa won the half. He goes 60-24. You mentioned Arasa there in fourth. Pat Tiernan, who you highlighted before, sixth with 60-55, and Biasimbasa seventh. What about on the marathon side of things? You had James Ngandu win it in 2:11. Top American was Frank Lara. You highlighted him as well, 2:11:32.
Yeah, obviously, the headlines are kind of stolen by the women's field.
Yes.
On the marathon side for men, I mean, 2:11. It's more. It just isn't the same type of you know top end talent that we had on the women's side. But you know, it's still a win's a win. And Frank Lara, who notably said, "I'm going to break the American record in the half." Now he got his debut in the full run to 11, and we'll see if he can improve and get down to sub 210 and potentially over the next 4 years become a contender. But we'll have to wait and see.